Japanese mountain asparagus. From this to this. So from the initial udo plant that you put in, it's taken 5 years to get sort of this amount of food. So this is a treat every spring, and she harvests all this, and everyone in the neighborhood gets a small bunch. Pretty cool. But you can go out to the mountain, and there is udo growing there, so you can go and take your chances with the bears and go and get your own, or you can have it this way. Okay, so I'm just at my neighbor's property, and this is something that happens for about 15 minutes every year, and this is the harvesting of udo, which is a Japanese mountain asparagus. And she's just going to do it now for you. So this is native to Japan and Korea, and it's a medicinal plant and a vegetable, and it's found up in the mountains. But my neighbor has a small batch here that she harvests every year, and has rice leftover of the rice husks, and as it grows the rice husks get put on to stop the sunlight, so it keeps it tender. So anyway, we'll see. As the shoots grow, more of this sort of rice mulch gets put on and keeps them tender. So every year we get a handful of this from our neighbour. It's absolutely awesome. So she's just digging away, and all this mountain asparagus will be under. So this is called udo, and for those people who are learning Japanese, this is the udo shoot. So it's sort of like a bamboo shoot, and it's eaten only when it's young, but this does grow into a tree, and the wood beautiful. So the wood that ends up growing to the tree can't be used for anything at all, because it's too soft and useless. Unlike bamboo, you can eat it when it's young, and also as it gets bigger you can use it for all sorts of things, bamboo. So it's a really useful plant. But this one, once it gets too big, it's good for nothing. So for men, so if a wife has a boyfriend or husband but he's lazy and he's good for nothing, they call them an udo tree. So if you have a girlfriend or husband, if you have a girlfriend or wife and they call you an udo tree, that's a massive insult in Japan. It means you're useless, good for nothing. So people also call this mountain asparagus as well. But since the sunlight hasn't got in, it keeps its nice sort of white limey flavour. If it was exposed to the sun, it'll be hard and green and not as delicious. Yep. So all this originally was one plant that she planted, and it's sort of branched out over the years. So the flavour, I keep saying asparagus, but it does taste a bit like asparagus, but it's quite fragrant. And people believe it's got a lot of health benefits. So just a bit of a closer look. So absolutely everything can be eaten. It can actually even be eaten raw. But there is a preparation method, because there are some sort of tannins in this that that are a little bit bitter and not so nice. So it sort of gets blanched a few times in hot water, and then it gets used. So it can be cut up and eaten raw as a side dish. Also put it in nabe and sort of miso flavored stocks. There's lots of uses for this. So this is the main root that goes all through under here, where the sprouts come up. So sort of like the asparagus. So now all the udo has been harvested, and now all this has to be put aside and the root's not covered, and that helps to regenerate for next season.
ここからもう一回芽が出て、このね、2度目を取ると、今度ね、翌年出なくなっちゃうから、次の芽は取らない。
So she's just taking the knobs off the top of the roots, otherwise they'll reshoot again and take the energy out of the root for next year. So she doesn't want them to produce another plant this year, so she's just hacking away at it, and that will conserve energy in the roots that are underneath, and we can have it all again next year. So the only thing left to do now, after this has been hacked off, in autumn, a little bit of plant food, and then over winter it'll generate a bit more energy, and then it'll come back up in spring. So that's pretty much the life cycle of the udo plant. So our neighbour has dug up a part of the root ball to give to my wife, and she's going to plant it over at our property. So hopefully within 5 years we'll get to sort of this stage, and we could have a treat of udo, Japanese mountain asparagus. So we'll see what comes of this little thing. So my neighbour has these little udo things all around her property. So everyone in the community, she gives a little bit of udo, and everyone gets a great taste of spring.
Let's go back home.